Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
And welcome to Glendale, Arizona. And State Farm Stadium as the Chicago Bears take on the Arizona Cardinals in Week 3. And we've got a matchup between a very ineffective offense, the Cardinals, against a terrific defensive team in the Bears, Mark.
Well, there's no question about it. When you look at the Bears, one of the best front sevens in all of football, and this Arizona Cardinals offense, pathetic so far in the season. They have got to clean up the myriad of mistakes that they have made throughout the first 2 games. They're looking to do that in this first drive.
The Bears looking for their second straight win. The Cardinals just looking for a win. And the Bears won the toss. They deferred, so the Cardinals will get the ball first and will start out on the 25-yard line. So Sam Bradford, and he's had success against Chicago. If it's been struggling the first 2 games of the regular season with 4 touchdowns and 1 interception, he has averaged per pass attempt under 4 yards, which is about really as low as you can get, Mark.
There's no question about that. They're going to want to establish themselves as a physical football team. They want to run the ball. They want to get the ball out of Bradford's hands quickly. That's been something they've struggled to do, and they have just made mistakes, whether it's protection, blitz pickup, you name it. They have struggled. They've got to fix that.
They have been outscored so far this season, 54-6. First play from scrimmage, Bradford, and he completes it to Larry Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald now with his 214th consecutive game with a reception. That didn't take long at all as he gets 6 yards. Looking at the Cardinal offense, and Andre Smith, the right tackle, out again, and John Wetzel has to handle that job.
And he's got his hands full this week. And Khalil Mack, obviously one of the best players in all the National Football League. Not only quick, but so incredibly powerful.
Second down and 4. There is Mack, and what a pickup he's been. And they give it to David Johnson, and Johnson's going to be knocked back. And the Bear force led by Khalil Mack. What an impact he has made on this entire team. No gain on the play, 3rd down coming up.
He certainly has. And you know, it's not just the fact that he's one of the best players in all of football, but he's just one of the best guys. He developed a culture there. They've had a good culture, but in the hand, the strength, the way he plays, and the way he practices every day. The guys on the team said he's made us a better football team with the way he goes about his business.
And he's made all of the defensive players better by just his presence. 3rd and 4. Here comes the blitz. It's picked up, and Bradford's pass is going to be caught by Christian Kirk. It'll be a first down, and Kirk getting into Bear territory, and a great block by the running back David Johnson, and that's what they were looking for him, and a big gain of 30 yards.
This has been the mistake where they've had a tough time with blitz pickup. You see him coming in there. Look at, stick his nose in there. Nice from a low to high plane. Basically get into underneath the linebacker and reestablish that line of scrimmage so that Bradford can get the ball out of his hands. That was something that he struggled with so far this season. Beautiful job of blitz pickup by David Johnson.
Kirk, the 2nd-round draft pick from Texas A&M. And that's the longest play from scrimmage all year for the Cardinals. And here is David Johnson. And Johnson picking up, moving the pile, getting about 5 yards, maybe more on 1st down. Let's take a look at this Bears defense, and they've got stars all over the place.
They certainly do, and we've talked about Khalil Mack, but I'm telling you, one of the guys who really energizes this, Danny Trevathan, the middle linebacker. He is a guy that flies around, practiced a lot this year so far. He's playing exceptional football because he's been in there and he's been tied together with the rest of this defensive front.
Coming off a 2-sack game for the first time in his career, a multi-sack effort against Seattle on Monday night. It'll be 2nd and 5. Call it 2nd and 6 on the 34. 3 tight ends are in the game for Bradford. He gets protection, and his pass to a wide open Ricky Seals-Jones, who walks in for the touchdown. 35 yards, Bradford to Ricky Seals-Jones for the score.
Well, I think the thing that impresses me the most about this, Sam Bradford, he's a guy that's not going to get off schedule. Look at him stand in the pressure right there as he gets it to the corner route by Ricky Seals-Jones, but pressure in his face, still has the ability to drop back and make an accurate throw, something he struggled with all season so far.
And they had 3 tight ends in there for protection, and Bradford has to feel so much better now. Phil Dawson, who has not attempted a field goal or an extra point till right now, converts the point after. So a 35-yard touchdown pass to a wide-open Ricky Seals-Jones, and the Cardinals amazingly score on their first possession of the game. It's a quick drive to success for the Cardinals, going 75 yards, and of course for Bradford, his first pass for a touchdown, the first lead of the season, and Steve Wilks' team coming off 2 disasters and playing before the home folks, although there are a lot of Bear fans here because this is a great winter resort for a lot of Chicagoans in the Arizona area, so they'll be heard somewhat as the kick. Benny Cunningham in the end zone will down it for the touchback, and the Bears go to work.
Well, I think on the TD, you're going to watch this over route, and this tight end gets knocked in here. I think Danny Trevathan thinks it's going to be an over, but he cuts it back into the corner route, and therein lies the wide open nature. Watch him jump up that, looks, peeks, nobody out there in the flat to cover Ricky Seals-Jones, and a beautifully executed ball by Sam Bradford with pressure.
So in his first season as Cardinals head coach, he was the Bears special teams coordinator for 3 years, 2006 to 2008. Mitchell Trubisky, and on the first play, hands off to Jordan Howard, who breaks one up the middle, and Howard with a big gain, getting close to the 45-yard line, picking up 17 on that play.
Ooh, oh man, that is a wide open hole, but watch the contact down here. That is just taking care of business, lowering your shoulder, come get a taste. I'm gonna run you over. That's Boston right there, and that is a big-time collision. That's how you establish yourself, dispense some justice as an offense, and respond to that drive by the Cardinals.
That matches the longest run from scrimmage for the Bears, and they go back to Howard, but this time he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 1 by Budda Baker, number 36, who's a threat all over the field. So Mitchell Trubisky, last week against Seattle, 2 passing touchdowns. The first time in his career he's had 2 TD passes in 1 game. And what the Bears hope is that he doesn't make those mistakes and throw the picks, and he's had a couple of those so far.
Well, they've had a great job so far, the Bears have, of scheduling their first 15 plays, staying on that schedule and executing it and making it touchdown drives. They're trying to get that done again in this opening drive.
Tariq Cohen now in the game as the tailback on 2nd and 11, and he gets the ball, and he's got some speed. There he runs into Cardinal territory, and Tariq Cohen knocked out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Kyle Long, the right guard, with a terrific block to free Tariq Cohen, who gets 20.
Well, here they come now. You watch on this read zone, your quarterback, you see him knocked on the ground right there by Kim Dichie. Your quarterback is live when you're running that read zone, that kind of college play, but Cohen's one of those guys that just is not, he's not large of stature, but he plays big. He is strong, he is quick, he's a guy they want to get to the edge and exploit those corners, exploit those safeties, see if they're willing to come up there and tackle.
37 yards on 2 running plays for the Bears, and a first down. And here is Howard back in the game and fighting for short yardage up the middle. So it's been all running for Chicago. Gain of 2. Taking a look at the Bears offense, and Allen Robinson, you'll see, has been a big favorite target for Trubisky so far in this young year.
Yeah, and Jordan Howard is a guy at the running back position that they're going to want to get more involved. They've run the ball at only a 42% clip. They'd like to get that more balanced into 50-55 area. So expect Jordan Howard to get plenty of touches today.
And here he is, Matt Nagy, the head coach, winning his first game and is a first-year coach Monday night against the Seahawks at Soldier Field, and Howard can't get away from Gerald Hodges. So Hodges, who was outstanding last week against the Rams, he's one of those Penn State linebackers, and they've had a bunch of them. It'll be third down coming up. Third and 6 for the Bears.
And this is where, as a defense, you want to be in. Third down, 5+. Third down and 6 going on right now. You've got everything open to you. You have to expect pass in this situation. Pin your ears back. Play the run on the way to the quarterback.
Trubisky for his first pass of the game, and it'll be a first down to the rookie Anthony Miller, who caught his first NFL touchdown pass last week. Bené Benwikere, the dime back for the Cardinals, is there, and Miller is slow getting up. 7-yard pickup and a first down at the 27.
Well, here he is, and you're just going to get a shallow cross coming across the football field right there. Inside leverage right here, throwing short of the sticks, but fights to get over there. Obviously, I don't know what happened when he goes down. Goes down awkwardly on those legs with the weight of Benwikere on top of him.
Miller, who was drafted in the second round out of Memphis, and a 10-yard touchdown pass last week, and a big one against the Seahawks. And Joshua Bellamy will replace him in the lineup.
Two things happen in those situations. Sometimes they'll fall on your legs. Leg injury. That one looks like he jammed his shoulder. He's favoring his arm. That's what they were looking at. Won't speculate on what it is, but that's what they looked. They were looking at his arm, his shoulder area, while they picked him up off the field.
So it's a first down on the Cardinal 27. The Bears have scored on the opening drive the first 2 games of the year. They hadn't done that in the first 2 games of the season in 20 years. Trying to make it 3 in a row. First down at the 27. And here's Jordan Howard. And Howard picks up about 3 yards. Take a look at the Cardinals defensive unit, and they've had some changes, Mark. They switched to the 4-3 from the 3-4, and they've still got that key guy, the pass rusher.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at Jones, absolutely unreal, and he's moved from being a way outside player, way outside the tight end, to closer lined up on the tackle. But he did that in New England, Chandler Jones did, so he's used to it. Obviously some adjustment going from a 3-4 to a 4-3, but he's making that adjustment smoothly.
After the 3-yard gain, it's 2nd and 7. Kevin White, number 11, has come in at wide receiver. Number 1 draft pick a couple of years ago, and there's pressure on Trubisky, but he gets it off to Howard, and Howard close to the first down. Jordan Howard on the receiving end getting 7 yards, and let's see if he has enough for the first down, and he does. It is a first down for the Bears.
I love that too. I mean, you get your quarterback out, take advantage of his athleticism, dashes outside the tackle box. You're running a flat route to your running back, just in the flat, get it to him quickly, and you see the precision. Accuracy is what he was taught, or what they talked about Mitch Trubisky. He's got great accuracy on the short. He's got to be better long ball accuracy. That's one thing, an area that he's struggled in so far this season.
9th play of the drive. And a first down now on the 17. And Tariq Cohen back into the game. And Gerald Hodges brings him down. This is the Pony Express that the Bears call, the duo of Howard and Cohen. And they can run and they can catch.
And right now they're wearing this team out, using some of that zone read principle, that kind of collegiate principle, taking advantage of your quarterback's athleticism. But what happens is when you fake it there and the quarterback is riding that running back in, the backside of that defense, the defensive end, the safety, they cannot constrict in the running game because they have to be aware of Trubisky and his athleticism.
Jordan Howard back in. It'll be 2nd down and 6. And they're going to go to Howard again. He's got a wide receiver blocking for him. He had Taylor Gabriel as a blocker in front, and he's pushed out of bounds by Josh Bynes after no gain on the play. So another 3rd down coming up. And
When do you think the last time Taylor Gabriel, at about 150 pounds, was asked to be a lead blocker anywhere? Like, at any point, have you ever said, you know what? Yeah, why don't we make you the lead blocker? You know, you ever play any fullback? Like, no, but Matt Nagy, he'll do it. You know, he'll give him that opportunity.
And he may do it again. Tariq Cohen is in there now. Bears capitalized on their first third down try. They need 6 yards here. And Trubisky getting a big rush, and down he goes for a big loss beyond the 30-yard line. It was Budda Baker and Bené Benwikere, and Baker leading the way. He's hard to figure out, and a huge loss of 17 yards on third down.
Boy, that's just edge pressure. That's saying 3rd down and 6. We're going to come right off of both edges here, and we're going to see if your quarterback can stand up. You've got to be able to get rid of the ball. Who's the hot read? Doesn't have one built into the system right there, and we're going to meet you at the quarterback. That to me is great execution and understanding of when you want to bring that pressure. So
Cody Parker, who has 1 field goal, 25-yarder this year. This was from 46 yards. And the kick by Parkey is no good. Off to the right. So Steve Wilks' defense holds the Bears, and it remains 7-0. To clean up what we had on our graphic, Steve Wilks was the defensive secondary coach for the Bears, not special teams. I think he likes what his secondary's done so far in this one, Bob.
Well, there's no question about that, not only from a coverage standpoint, but from a compression standpoint as well.
Johnson diving forward. Tell you, using his power here as he gets to the 40, picks up 4 yards on first down.
Like that. Put your foot in the ground. You know it's a stretch play out wide. Stick your foot in the ground. Get it north and south. But what I like that at the point of contact, he's ducking underneath defensive players, keeping his body and his pads low, trying to get that extra yardage. You know, it's always one of those guys that if we block it for 2, we need you to get you 4. You know, we need you to get us 4. That's what he did there.
48 yards last week, 37 the week before. They know he can do a lot better than that. 2nd down and 6. In motion is J.J. Nelson, the fleet wide receiver. And the handoff is to Johnson. And this time the Bears are there. 1-yard gain, and Leonard Floyd with good penetration there. Time for our first game break. Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Dick. This was a good one. Saints-Falcons tied at 37 in overtime. Opening drive. Drew Brees caps off a 15-play, 80-yard drive with a game-winning 1-yard touchdown plunge. They went on the win, 43-37. Dick, Mark, and Jen.
All right, thank you, Carissa. Wild game with the visiting Saints winning this one.
How about some shootouts the Saints have already been in? Opening weekend with Tampa, and then this week with Atlanta.
Exciting football. Meanwhile, 3rd and 5 for Sam Bradford on his 41. 3 wide receivers line up to the right, but he looks left all the way, and the pass is knocked away, incomplete. Prince Amukamara, who had a game-clinching interception for a touchdown, knocking it away from Ricky Seals-Jones.
As a local Colorado kid, sees the route right here, just in zone. I mean, Arizona kid, excuse me. I'm the Colorado kid. But look at him drive on the football at the point of attack, the high point, going after the arms after the ball already hits the receiver in the hands. Very nice job driving on the ball.
So Andy Lee kicking to Tariq Cohen, who had a 32-yard punt return. This time, though, the fair catch at the 10. So Lee does a great job. So Mitch Trubisky and the Bears find themselves on the short end early on in this game. He'll be on with the rest of the offense when we come back. Well, Brian Urlacher is in the house. He received his NFL Hall of Fame ring Monday night at Soldier Field with the Bears win, and here he is today with the rest of the Bear fans, and they are legion here without question. Bears' first drive, by the way, they used 7 minutes and 17 seconds. The big sack hurt them, and then they missed the field goal. They will start here from the 10. Tariq Cohen in the game, and on play action, the pass is caught, and it'll be a first down. Trey Burton, the tight end, brings it out past the 20, close to the 25-yard line, and a pickup of 13.
Another situation, Dick, where you get your quarterback outside the pocket, use his athleticism to your advantage. Mitchell Trubisky, one of those guys, a lot of people will say he reminds me a lot of Russell Wilson. That's what Chandler Jones told us, the way he can escape and run around.
Now Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen both in the lineup, and this pass is knocked down. Burton was the intended receiver, and Patrick Peterson with a textbook pass defense on that play as we send it down to Jen Hale.
Two big reasons for a new hope today. The offense, you saw Jermaine Gresham back in at tight end, so versatile. And here for the defense, Marcus Golden coming back from a torn ACL. You might remember in 2016, he led the league in sacks per pass play. So the Cardinals certainly hoping he has a big impact today.
And what a boost that is, Jen, for this team that needs something. Here's the quick to Taylor Gabriel, and good tackle right there by Budda Baker. He's already made 3 superb plays in this first quarter.
He really has. He's one of those guys that's a do-it-all guy. Really plays nickel, so he plays down there in the linebacker area, in the flats, man coverage, you name it, he can do it all. Budda Baker, one of those guys that's just a Swiss Army knife when it comes to this defense and bails you out of a lot of situations.
And it's 3rd down and 7. The Cardinals defense has to like this.
3rd down and 7, they want you. Remember, last 3rd down and 6, they had double blitz off the edge. They're lined up like that again right here.
And here they come, putting pressure on Trubisky. He lost the ball, fumbles, and the Cardinals may have it. Cardinals ball.
Dick, that's another corner off the edge, and when you have that speed off the edge, it speeds everybody up. He gets off the edge, and they get pressure up the middle. That's the difference.
Corey Peters recovered it.
Nkemdiche around the edge right here, coming in. Chandler Jones there. Stripped the ball. Ben Wickery off wide on the blitz.
And the former Falcon found it in his arms. This is an inspired Cardinal defense here in this first quarter.
An inspired college football team right now.
Yeah, right. Both sides of the ball. And now a great opportunity for Sam Bradford, the 1st and 10 on the 21 of the Bears. Getting protection. And his pass is going to be touchdown to David Johnson. "21 yards to Johnson, that is a receiver." And what about the protection for Sam Bradford, partner?
Well, the protection always starts up front, but anytime you watch your running back split outside the formation or leave the formation and get one-on-one with a linebacker, he does that, runs a perfect corner route. Look, he beats Trevathan by about 5 yards down the football field. They need more of that for this offense to get on rhythm, and that's the guy they want to target in the passing game outside the numbers.
Phil Dawson. And the flag thrown. And offside against Kyle Fuller. Referee is Bill Vinovich today. First penalty.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 23. That 5-yard penalty being forced on the kickoff. We'll still try.
So one play to Johnson, 21-yard pass. Both TD catches to wide open receivers for the Cardinals in this quarter as they take advantage of the fumble by Mitchell Trubisky. So once again, Phil Dawson for the point after. And the Cardinals have taken a surprising 14-0 lead. It all started with the fumble. Nkemdiche knocked it away. Peters had it. And the Cardinals didn't take long to burn the Bears with this pass.
Mike McCoy, offensive coordinator, talking to Sam Bradford. Mike McCoy really talked about taking some volume out of this playbook, keeping it simple, and getting 31, David Johnson, involved, especially in the passing game, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. Make a plan, execute it perfectly. That's what Mike McCoy's doing so far.
And doing it well as Benny Cunningham again back, but this one will go out of the end zone for a touchback. Another game break coming up, and Carissa Thompson has it for us. Carissa.
Thank you so much, Dick. So Rams up 7-6 in the Battle of LA when Jared Goff finds Robert Woods for that 3-yard score. Rams up 14-6. Dick, Mark, and Jen.
All right, thank you very much, Carissa. So Mitchell Trubisky comes out again, and so now it's an unusual situation for the head coach, Matt Nagy, because his team, after scoring touchdowns on the first drives of the first 2 games, trailed 14-0 and have been out gained by that much. First down at the 25. Cohen trying to go outside and picks up decent yardage. Very tough to bring down the speed of Tariq Cohen as he turns the corner, as he picks up 7 on first down.
This will be interesting because, as you mentioned, Matt Nagy has talked about the fact that they want to stay on schedule. They want to be able to run the football, get more balanced out of their running game. They want to be physical. And now all of a sudden you find yourself in a position where a lot of coaches will panic and start throwing it all around the barnyard. I don't expect him to do that.
You're right. He's too smart for that. And there's a pass, a slant pass, and Allen Robinson, who's become the favorite target of the second-year quarterback, gets 10 yards and a first down. 14-0 in the first quarter. You certainly don't give up the running game.
Well, you can't if you're the Chicago Bears, because everything comes off of that running game. You want to be able to have run-pass integrity. Make sure that that defense has to defend both to take the pressure off your young quarterback, as we talk about that. They're in an empty set.
And there's Cohen to the top of your picture with a first down. 4 wide receivers to the left. And going deep is Mitchell Trubisky and throws it out of bounds. It was intended for Gabriel, and Patrick Peterson was step for step with him.
Boy, over the years, haven't we just grown accustomed to watching Patrick Peterson step for step with whoever they put out there? Doesn't matter. Give us your #1 receiver. Patrick Peterson, look at him, open his hips, run. He's in a zone coverage. It turns to man right there. I love the subtlety of the hand right there. Make sure you put it out there. Don't interfere with the player, but just feel the player. And as you feel him, force him to the sideline, he becomes an extra defender.
He had a pick last week in the losing cause against the Rams. 34 seconds to go in the first quarter on 2nd down and 10. And the hand up the middle to Howard, but Rodney Gunter is right there. And that will bring up 3rd down and long for the Bears. And that may be the last play of the first quarter. David Johnson with the touchdown catch after Ricky Seals-Jones grabbed one on the first possession. Sam Bradford throwing 2 of them. And that will do it for the first quarter. The fans here at State Farm Stadium are loving it. After 1 quarter, the Cardinals 14, the Bears nothing. And we're back at State Farm Stadium with the Cardinals leading the Bears 14-0. We start the second quarter. Dick Stockton along with Mark Schlereth and Jen Hale. So the Cardinals, who had scored only 6 points in 2 games, has 14 in 1 quarter. Benny Cunningham is the tailback to the left of Mitchell Trubisky on 3rd down and 8. And he gets the pass out of the backfield. And Cunningham, second effort, gets the first down. Cardinals missed an opportunity. And they get the first down.
Hey, Dick, that's 3 for 3 on 3rd downs on blitz. And one of the great ways to destroy a blitz, throw a screen. Obviously, guys are coming in there. You're playing zone behind that or man behind that. Throw that screen, see if you can get yardage. There they go.
And a first down. Even play selection for the Bears thus far. Doing it mostly on the ground. First down on the 47 of the Cardinals. Passes out to Anthony Miller. Shaken up before. Flags will fly, however, from the secondary. Miller was shaken up earlier and has come back. And the pass good for 4 yards, pending the call.
Looks like it's going to be a hold or a block in the back. I want to say that's on Kevin White. We'll sit and listen for the call.
It'll be against the Bears.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the offense. Illegal block in the back. Offense number 11. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, chop block. Offense number 64. 15-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And a big penalty, 15 yards. They call the one on Eric Kush. That's the one they accept. And they're going to be marching back.
Well, Kush, here he is right here. So we'll see exactly where he's at. He's coming down across there. Anytime you engage, you hit and cut, and another offensive lineman accidentally engages, that was not malicious. That was not one of those things where you were trying to chop block a guy. It just happened to be the way that worked. Unfortunate for Kush there on that particular play.
Yeah, the Bears got into Cardinal territory. Now they're back to their own 38. So it'll be first down and 25. Things have not gone swimmingly for Mr. Trubisky so far and company. They spread it out with 4 receivers, and Howard going out as a receiver, and the pass is caught by Miller for a short gain. Patrick Peterson made sure of that, and they pick up only 3.
And Patrick Peterson just playing in his zone, comes off the ball, sees the flat route, rallies, puts his foot in the ground, goes up and makes a tackle. Complete football player. You always talk about guys that make business decisions, you know, those corners that just want to cover, don't want to get involved. Patrick Peterson's a complete player, has been for years. Future Hall of Famer, to be sure, in my book.
He wants to get involved. Second down and 22. Tariq Cohen going out as a receiver. Trubisky looking the other way, and that pass is caught by Taylor Gabriel in Cardinal territory, but Peterson is right with him. Send it down to Jen Hale with more on PP.
Well, Dick, football is a family affair for Patrick Peterson and his wife, Antonique. She texts him a different challenge every week. It's the last thing he looks at in the locker room before he comes out to the field. And for this week, besides getting a pick and running it back for a touchdown, she challenged him to be a leader for this defensive team, to help them through adversity and hold them together. So far, he is certainly doing that, Dick.
He is, and so is the Cardinal fans. They are vocal, full throat here on 3rd down and 12. On the 49, trying to hold the Bears at bay here and going deep and double coverage in the end zone, and it was intended for Gabriel, but Antoine Bethea was right there with help from Patrick Peterson. He's all over the place, but a great throw. That was a great exhibition of Trubisky's arm, but it's 4th down when all is said and done.
And the first 3rd down in the last 3 plays where they haven't blitzed right here. They play coverage, 4 across the board deep. Bethea right there in that middle defending Gabriel on the deep ball. Beautifully launched pass by Trubisky, but well covered by the Cardinals.
Bethea led the Cardinals with 5 interceptions last year, so it's 4th down. And Pat O'Donnell will be kicking to the rookie Christian Kirk. And this kick will be inside the 5. And the Bears unable to keep it in play. So the touchback. And it looks like the Cardinals will start again from the 20. And why not a smile for David Johnson? He has scored a touchdown so far. Not as a rusher, as a receiver in a 14-0 game. So what a difference one game makes, at least 1 quarter, when you compare what the Cardinals managed in weeks 1 and 2. They're going to dwarf these numbers for sure today. As Bradford 4 for 5 for 92 yards and 2 touchdown passes for the coordinator McCoy, starting from the 25. Cardinals have 3 plays for over 20 yards already in this one. In motion is Christian Kirk, and the pitch going to Chase Edmonds is in the game. And the rookie from Fordham in the Bronx, New York, gets a couple. And Roquan Smith gets 3 yards on the play.
Well, David Johnson, like blitz pickup here last week, and I asked him how was he said bad. Look at his head looking down. There are no 4-leaf clovers down there. You got to pick up your guy. He didn't get it done. What a difference a week makes. Look at this. lowers his hips, runs through the linebacker Trevathan, and at that point, that was the longest completion of the season for the Cardinals. And it all starts with learning from your mistakes and correcting those mistakes.
Looks like he learned in a hurry. 2nd down and 7 on the 23. So Roquan Smith, rookie from Georgia, #1 pick, adding to the Bears defense. And the pass is going to be caught by Kirk. He'll be shy of the 1st down. Kyle Fuller prevents him getting to the sticks. 6-yard pickup. 3rd down coming up.
David Johnson, you know, I asked him in our meetings, Dick, I said, tell me about your blitz pickup. And he just put his head down. He goes, it's bad. And then he goes, it's bad. It was bad. Like 3 times. I appreciate your candor because I saw it. It was bad. But when you make that kind of improvement, it shows you how much you love this team, how much you want to contribute.
Today, he's been good.
Yes. Good.
3rd down and 1. And here is Edmonds driving for the 1st down. So Chase Edmonds, who led with 5 receptions coming into this game, gets the 1st down as we check in with Carissa Thompson in the game break.
Basic Rams up 14-6. And Chargers punting from their end zone, blocked by linebacker Corey Littleton, recovered by Blake Countess for the touchdown. Rams lead this one 21-6 in this Vic Martin Jen.
All right, thank you very much. The Rams, one of the powers of the NFC. 1st down on the 31. Chase Edmonds remains in the backfield for the Cardinals as David Johnson getting a breather in this series. Play fake and the quick pass caught and set down. Christian Kirk hit immediately. Good play by Bryce Callahan, the cornerback for the Bears, and a loss of a yard.
Bryce Callahan, it's a scrappy guy. Every time you see him in the game, he's tackling people, he's flying around. He's one of those guys that doesn't shy away from contact, relishes the opportunity to come up and make a tackle. And on those little smoke or bubble screens, he's the guy you want in there. Bryce Callahan going to go out there, snip that thing out, hit somebody in the mouth, make it 2nd down and long.
They need 11 on 2nd down. Jermaine Gresham lines up as a tight end to the right. Jen Hale talked about his return. Here's Edmonds for a couple of yards. Give him 2. So it'll be 3rd down coming up and 3rd and long for Bradford. Hasn't had too much of these situations thus far.
I like that. You get in the I formation or you get in the tailback deep there. You have a tight end. You want to basically show there's a run-pass balance here. Even in long yardage situation, we're going to have some balance. We're going to go ahead and do that. Now, of course, you get in a known passing situation here with Sam Bradford in the gun.
And the Bear fans, vocal, a lot of them here. More Cardinal fans, though, without question. 3rd down and 9. Penalty.
Delay game. Offense number 9. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Now it's 3rd and 14. Not a good situation for the Cardinals to be in. Would you think that they don't try anything fancy here?
You're 3rd down and 14. You've got a 14-0 lead. Your defense has been dominant so far. This is where you pop a draw. You throw a quick screen pass or a little swing pass. This is not one where you put your quarterback in harm's way. Get out of here, punt, live to fight another day.
They've only needed about 3 yards before, but now it's 3rd down and 14, and they hand it off to Edmonds. And Edmonds brings it out to the 33, where Roy Robertson Harris makes the stop. 5 yards for the rookie from Fordham, and Andy Lee will come in and kick.
Wise decision by Steve Wilks. They've had enough issues on the offensive side of the ball with breakdowns, as we've talked about, in blitz, in protection. Don't put your quarterback in harm's way. He's playing a great game. You got that lead. Punt and let your defense continue to shine.
Tariq Cohen is back deep. Cardinals have not been strong defending the punt return. Here's Cohen on the 15. Tariq Cohen turns the corner. Not a bad return at all for the Chicago Bears. Can the Bears offense get it going? Let's see what the head coach play caller has in mind. for his second-year quarterback. We're back here at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, with the Cardinals leading the Bears 14-0. Chicago taking over on their 27. They have outrushed the Cardinals so far, 57-22, averaging over 5 yards per rush, thanks to Cohen and Howard. There you see the 3 first possessions. Not the way it started for them in the first 2 games of the year.
No, and when you're rushing the ball like that, the next thing you want to look at is what's the adjunct play action pass that we can take advantage of to get a big chunk yardage in the passing game.
And Trubisky nearly falls down after a fake handoff, and his pass, and a great catch by the tight end, Trey Burton. As he goes out of bounds, big gain. Burton, the former Eagle, 25 yards on that clip.
Well, here he is, Trey Burton. They run the play action. Look at with the deep crossing, deep over route right there. Linebacker's got to run underneath that. Safety can't get there in time. Beautifully executed, especially when you think about the fact that Trubisky tripped over Howard on the fake and was still able to get it on the deep over to Burton.
How about that arm on that out?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
First down at the 48. And the pass is caught by Gabriel. And Gabriel is set down quickly by Bethea. Cardinals doing a great job of limiting the Bears for runs after the catch so far today. That was a 5-yard pickup.
And this is why, Dick, you cannot abandon the running game. I know it's 14-0. I know you feel the pressure. I know there's only 6.5 minutes left here in the second quarter, but that running game and the presence of that running game is going to open things up for your tight ends and in your passing game.
And it's been successful, getting 5 yards at a clip. And Jordan Howard, the play is whistled down, and is it a false start call here?
Looks like a left guard.
False start. Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty.
So Eric
Still
Bush,
second
who was
down.
called for a penalty, a big one earlier, now
Please.
called for a false start.
That happens on the road sometimes. You always want to jump the snap count. You don't ever go on one. So if it's like Blue 80 set hut, you're always going on set. You're trying to get a jump on the snap count, but sometimes your rhythm gets off when you're on the road. So all offensive linemen, not just Cush, but everybody tries to jump the snap count because it's the only advantage you have as an offensive lineman. Trust me, those defensive linemen, they're better athletes, they're quicker. That's our only advantage.
I believe you, Mark. You were one. 2nd and 10 from the 48 of the Cardinals. Pressure put on Trubisky here and completes the pass. It won't be a first down, but Gabriel makes it awfully close. About 1.5 yards, and Patrick Peterson, like he might have got banged up. 9-yard pickup, and it'll be 3rd down and 1 yard.
Here he comes on the curl route, comes up to make the tackle. Looked like he got kicked, maybe in the, well, let's just call it the nethers. He got kicked in the nethers.
Or Netherlands, and that's another name for Holland. And diving for the first down is Jordan Howard. As he gets to the 36. Bears trying to get something going here as we wind down to 5 minutes remaining in the first half.
Cardinals get some penetration here. You meet them in the backfield. You got to make those tackles. That's the difference between eliminating a touchdown drive or making somebody in the red zone settle for a field goal, keeping drives alive, and scoring touchdowns. That's one that you look at as a defense that we have got to make that tackle in the backfield.
Tariq Cohen is in the game now. He's rushed 3 times for 32 yards. Play action. Trubisky steps up. He's got time. He's got the receiver, overthrows Gabriel, who is covered by Jamar Taylor in the end zone.
One thing you mentioned there, time. He had plenty of time to set his feet. This is something he said he's had to work on, is that in shotgun, he gets a little bit maybe lazy with his feet. His deep ball accuracy has not been what he needs it to be. And it's interesting, when you play kind of a collegiate system, you come out of that spread system, it's usually under center that you have trouble with. He said it's shotgun that his feet haven't been as tied together as he'd like.
He's in it now on 2nd and 10. and the quick pass is going to be caught by Miller, and Miller has the first down before he goes out of bounds. So Anthony Miller, who's the big man on campus at Memphis with 18 touchdowns in his last year, grabs another.
Not just a little bubble screen right here. Watch the lead blockers, tight ends out there. They're just grinding. So you put two big guys out there at the tight end position. The inside receiver, Miller, you throw him the bubble screen, let those big guys get after small guys. Always like that. When it comes between a big guy and a small guy, 100% of the time, I'm going to choose to hit the small guy. And that's what they did on that particular play.
It paid off. Good footwork as well, and a gain of 16. And a first down at the 21. Trubisky getting the rush, and the pass is knocked away. And a terrific play by Jamar Taylor, the former Brown, on Allen Robinson. And a roughing the passer penalty has been called.
15-yard penalty.
Against
first down.
Marcus Golden, returning to action today after tearing the ACL last year in the fourth game. A pivotal penalty, and it'll be a first down for the Bears.
Well, coming around the edge on the outside right here, ball's gone, and he falls out. That's one of those things, and I understand how hard that is, but you fall down, you roll into the legs, and another errant pass. That's a wide open receiver that's thrown behind Robinson. That should be a touchdown right there. Thrown behind, you let the defender get involved in that pass. Very good.
First and goal with under 4 minutes to go in the half. And the handoff is to Cohen. Tariq Cohen with a host of Cardinals defending, led by Buda Baker. Bring him down, picks up 3 yards, and it'll be second and goal. First 2 weeks in the NFL, there have been 21 roughing the passer calls.
And you know, unfortunately, sometimes the NFL, where common sense isn't always so common, there are times when a guy falls down accidentally on somebody's legs. I understand the protection of the quarterback, but I think you can discern the difference between somebody being malicious and somebody trying to hurt a guy and accidentally running into a guy. And I think there needs to be a better balance. 21 fouls in the first 2 weeks, ridiculous.
Second and goal at the 7. Trubisky with time, and his pass incomplete. Allen Robinson with Patrick Peterson defending him, and that'll bring up third and goal. On a penalty.
Foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 90. After this,
they call this one on Kim Dichie.
First down.
So first Golden, then Kim Dichie in the same series, and instead of third and goal, it'll be first and goal. 2 roughing the passer penalties on this drive.
Steve Wilks livid right now from the sideline, the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. You know, one thing you can't do, and again, I'm not a big fan of the way they call it, but one thing you cannot do, you cannot keep people alive. You cannot give them extra opportunities. That's what the Cardinals are doing right now in this drive.
And the inside handoff to Howard, and the Cardinals don't budge. Buda Baker once again brings Howard down, and it'll be second and goal.
Number 79. 79's report is eligible. 79.
Bradley Soul comes in as an extra offensive lineman and an eligible receiver for the Bears. Ball is at the 2. Here's Trubisky. And another flag is down. Another penalty flag down. Pass was incomplete. Bounced to the tight end, Ben Braunecker.
Illegal shift. Offense number 88. Never got set. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
5 yards on Dion Sims.
All right, well, let's go back to the previous. We had to dig deep in the archives to find this right here. And, ooh, the undercut on the quarterback's legs. And again, you know, you're stumbling around, you're being blocked, you're trying to make a play, you're falling to the ground. Unintentional. I understand why they want to protect the quarterback. I get that. But Robert Kim Dichie, I don't know that you can avoid that when you're getting shoved by an offensive lineman to the ground.
Second and goal, ball back on the 7. Tariq Cohen in the backfield with Trubisky. And here's Cohen on the reception. And he's going to be dragged down by Taylor. Jamar Taylor having an outstanding first half after the Rams kind of picked on him last week in their big win.
That is a exceptionally tough tackle, and it comes down to technique. Keep your leverage on the upfield shoulder. Force that guy back to the inside. That's Cohen back to the inside. Beautifully done.
2-minute warning. Well, the Cardinals have gotten it done so far, leading by 2 touchdowns, but can their defense hold with the Bears threatening? 2 minutes remain in the first half, and the Chicago Bears have a 3rd down and goal on the 2-yard line.
Now, we've seen this Bears team. We've seen them run some quirky formations, personnel groups, shovel passes, options. Always interesting because there are so many things in this Matt Nagy playbook that they can go after.
Look at this. 4 receivers go out to the right. Tariq Cohen is one of them. And looking left, and here is the fade, and it's knocked away. The pass is incomplete. Jamar Taylor defending against Allen Robinson. So now it is 4th and goal at the 2. You're on the road, down by 2 touchdowns. What do you do?
Well, for me, I want to go get the points. They look like they're huddling up right now. They try to throw the fade out here to Robinson. Look at Taylor. Outside leverage, good hands right there. Now, as a quarterback, you've got to give your receiver a chance to catch the ball. You did not give him that chance. So, looks like 4-down territory. Matt Nagy calling a play right now. You spread them out last time. Do you spread them out, maybe run a QB draw here? Or do you try to condense the formation and say, hey, we're going to give it to our big guy Howard, let him run down in there, rumble down in there, and hit somebody in the mouth?
In the meantime, a timeout is called by the Bears. That's the first timeout for either team. Want to remind you, coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Tony will talk about the Battle of L.A., Chargers and Rams, and the list of unbeatens gets shorter. I'm sure everyone thought that the Buffalo Bills would trounce the Minnesota Vikings in Minneapolis today, which they did 27-6, right?
Yeah, absolutely amazing, right? I mean, this league is such a week-to-week league. Here's an offense that hasn't produced anything in Arizona. They come here at home, put 14 on the board right off the bat. It'll be interesting, though. Now, when the Bears line up, do the Arizona Cardinals counter with their own timeout just to get a look at exactly what the Bears are in so that they can go to the sideline and plan? We call it a Polaroid timeout. Let's see what happens here.
All right, they put most of their receivers to the left, but a relatively tight formation. Here it is, 4th and goal. And the Cardinals, as you predicted, do call a timeout.
First charge timeout.
So now,
Arizona.
if you're Matt Nagy, you come up with another look.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as you get in there, you want to see how they adjust this. Let's just keep calling timeouts back and forth until you run out of them. But you'll huddle back up there, see exactly what you want to execute and the way you saw the defense. You might came up with the same thing. You got to look at what the defense wanted to do there.
There's Cody Parker, who was ready just in case. Now the Cardinals put on some new personnel onto the field as the Bears come in with their people, and Cody Parkey enters the game now.
I think this is the right decision.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Right? I think this is the right decision.
You're on the road.
You're on the road. Get 3 points before the half. Go in with a little bit of momentum. You put a nice drive together. This makes sense. I think it's the right call.
Yeah, I agree with you. You want to get off that zero schneid. And Parkey, who missed a 46-yard field goal earlier, this is from 20 yards, and the kick is good. So the Bears wind up with 3, but I have to tell you, the Cardinals with 2 roughing the passer penalties against them hold and force the Bears to get 3. That's a victory for them. Been a topsy-turvy first half for both of these teams compared to what they did going in. Bears at 27 in the first half entering today. Arizona 0 and 40 for Arizona allowed to 3, but it's 14-3 right now, and Cody Parkey will be kicking off. Brandon Williams going back deep for the Cardinals. And the Cardinals will take it out at the 25. And right now, let's check in with Curt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, the Rams and Chargers in the fight for Los Angeles, and 5 teams fall from the ranks of undefeated. Keep going. Got some more. It's all coming up on the Visa halftime. Get me out of this, Dick and Mark.
That's already, mama. Thank you very much.
Great, Terry. Well, one thing you learn, never lower the boom on Curt Menefee. 2 timeouts left for the Cardinals.
Terry used to just get the boom leveled on him, so he's liking leveling the boom on somebody else.
Reminds me of Elvis a little bit. Bradford, and he's going up top, incomplete. Intended for Chad Williams, the first time he's been targeted. And for a game break, here's Carissa Thompson.
No shortage of entertainment around here. Meanwhile, in Seattle, pretty entertaining for Seahawks fans. Russell Wilson to Jerron Brown for that 16-yard score. Seattle's up 7-3 with 2 minutes left in the second. Dick?
All right, Carissa. Well, Trubisky is 13 of 18. Bradford is only 6 of 8. But his team has 14 points on the board. 2nd and 10. Bradford. And going underneath, and Johnson is there, but tackled quickly by Roquan Smith, who made his NFL starting debut last week and led his team with 7 tackles, although Vic Fangio said he missed some tackles. Timeout called by the Bears, and we'll be right back after this message from Pizza Hut. Back here at Arizona, and the Bears calling a timeout with eyes on getting the ball back before the end of this first half. So the Cardinal defense may have to come out again and put on another stopping show. We'll see, but it'll be 3rd down and 12 for Bradford. Can't get away this time. Loses the ball. Fumble. And the Cardinals recover. David Johnson alertly picked up the loose ball. That could have been real trouble, and the Bears could have been in real business, but Khalil Mack and company bring the charge. This is what we're used to seeing from this Bear defense. Loss of 11.
We haven't talked about Khalil Mack at all, but you want to talk about, I love this. Watch him turn this. He sees the chip coming. He'll turn it into a bull rush, and they've got slide to it. So you've got 3 guys going after Khalil Mack. Watch him push inside and create that opportunity for...
Looks like Hicks got in.
For the pass rush to get there. So excellent job by Khalil Mack, and Hicks cleaning that up.
Well, that's what the presence of Mack does. He allows guys like Hicks to look even better than they've ever looked before, because you have to keep that eye on Khalil Mack. So a punting situation and a timeout called by the Bears, their 3rd and final timeout.
So here's how they've gotten Khalil Mack. Here you see the 2 tight ends on Khalil Mack, shutting him down. Here is the chip, a little hold there on Khalil Mack, running away from him. Here's a one-on-one, but he had to get through traffic first. Wetzel does a good job there. And then the last play, 3 guys on 1, and somehow he still squirts through there as Akeem Hicks takes him down and creates the fumble.
He had a sack and a tackle for a loss in last week's win over Seattle. 2 sacks on the season, acquired from the Raiders for 2 number 1s, but the Bears got a 2 back as we look at Khalil Mack since 2012, since 2015, as you pointed out. Team guy as good as anyone on this roster.
Great guy, great work ethic, huge team guy.
Andy Lee kicking to Tariq Cohen. Could be good field position depending on this kick. Fields it at the 32. And the Cardinals, great coverage there. And it was Joe Walker who was just signed this week. Thursday nights are about to get a lot bigger. Fox becomes the new network home for Thursday night football. Vikings and Rams in a battle of NFC heavyweights Thursday at 7:30 Eastern on Fox, also live on NFL Network and streaming on Prime Video. Now it's a game, and you know the Vikings want to come back after their shocking loss at home to the Bills, and the Rams are leading the Chargers right now at halftime, and there's a Viking fan quietly watching along with another NFC North fan.
Apparently he came to the wrong game. He did not realize the Vikings weren't in town today.
First down on the Bear 37. Benny Cunningham in the game. And the pass caught by Gabriel. He'll be about 3 yards shy of the first down. Buda Baker with yet another tackle. No timeouts remaining for the Bears. Getting close to a minute remaining in the first half. 2nd and 3. Pressure come on and tipped. And it's intercepted. Trey Boston, and the deflection, and Chandler Jones deflected it, and Trey Boston picked it off. Second turnover. Trubisky fumbled and now throws the interception, and why not? A team picture.
Hey, when things have been this bad for this long in the first 2 games, you got to find those little victories to celebrate. That's not a little victory, though. That's a big-time victory. Chandler Jones even told us you have to understand that clock in your head when that quarterback's going to release that ball. He's unblocked, but he feels that screen coming behind him, gets his hands up there, creates the tip, and look at Boston layout. Does he catch it?
No, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think he's got his hands under that. I think it's a great play. I'm giving it to him, Dick. I don't.
Right.
You can be skeptical if you want, but I think he got his hands under that ball.
I think it's close.
Watched it all the way in.
The nose of the football may have been on the turf. I'm just saying. We'll see. They review all turnovers, and they're going to go. So it's an interception. So good for you, Mark. I'm just a little cautious.
That's okay.
all.
You're cautious. I'm going to go ahead and let it go.
Why don't you let it go finally?
Yes,
a minute to go in this half, and still 2 timeouts left for the Cardinals, who have a first down on the Bears 34. Faked the handoff, Bradford, and that pass was off the mark. It was intended for Gresham, the tight end, and the 2-time Pro Bowler returning to action.
Now you see what they did there. They moved Khalil Mack to the opposite side of the formation. Let him have an opportunity over your left tackle. So here he is, tight end, left tackle. That time they don't chip him, so they're trying to hide him to get him opportunities right there. Does a great job with the inside swim, but that's such a quick pass, and that's smart by Arizona. Don't get into a deep drop. Get the ball out of your quarterback's hands. Condensed formation here, run-looking formation. Let's see what happens.
2nd down and 10 on the 34. David Johnson, a couple of yards, that's all. And 50 seconds on the clock as Trevathan and Smith combine on that play. Still 2 timeouts left for the Cardinals, and they're going to use one of them here.
Second charge timeout. Arizona. 30-second timeout.
We have seen some tremendous defense by the Cardinals, and they've always had a good defensive reputation.
They really have. Here's Buda Baker down there in the box, rolling up, making a tackle in the backfield. Ben Wickery off the edge on the cat corner blitz. There is Kimdichie creating the strip. Peters picking it up, and Peterson on the slant right there. And then you got Chandler Jones tipping the ball in the air to Boston. They have been all over, absolutely hunting. And they put in this new defense under Steve Wilks. And it's been a work in progress, but you can see them starting to gel together, understanding their responsibilities.
It would be a 51-yard field goal right from here if they don't gain anything. 3rd down and 8 for Bradford and the Cardinals. And Bradford is going to lose yardage. That's not a good sign. Khalil Mack gets to him. And Mack with his 3rd sack of the season and a loss of 7 yards. That was the last thing in the scenario that the Cardinals wanted.
Well, they're right here, and they're sliding out here to Khalil Mack. So they're getting a double team. Look at this. Goes right underneath Upati, the left guard, to get to the quarterback. So strong. He is one of those guys, Dick, that is gelatinous in the way he plays. I mean, you can't get your hands on him. He'll dip underneath you. He'll run a tight corner, but he is so powerful. The guys on the team talk about him lifting guys up in one-on-ones with one hand. So powerful. So he's got a unique just a unique skill set of not only speed, quickness, but also just raw strength.
So it was a good deal that the Bears made.
Yeah, you know what? I would say that trading a known commodity for unknown commodities, always a good deal.
4th down, and Dawson's longest successful field goal is 57 yards. They're punting here. Andy Lee will kick it away after the loss of 7. Tariq Cohen is back. And the ball bounces and gets by 2 men who were back for the Cardinals. They were looking to keep it in play, but it bounces in the end zone. Ben Wickery was one of them. And so the Bears will come out to the 20-yard line with 31 seconds left. Well, Chandler Jones.
Yeah, Chandler Jones, last plus 3 seasons, 41.5 sacks. He leads the league entering today. Khalil Mack, 38.5, and Von Miller, 38.5 as well. Again, he is one of those guys that is a supremely gifted guy, but he's not only gifted, he's one of the best people in that organization.
First down with 31 seconds left and no timeouts for the Bears. And they're 20. Here's Jordan Howard. And Josh Bynes, the middle linebacker, holds Howard to a gain of 3. And that's going to be all. The Bears, by the way, will receive the second half kick. 14-3 in the story of this game. Well, here is the play of the first half, brought to you by Swiffer. And it was the first touchdown. And it was Ricky Seals-Jones on a 35-yard score. First possession of the game for the Cardinals. And what a first half it was for Arizona. And we now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime, which starts now. Was today's game flow, brought to you by Progressive. 14-3, the Cardinals leading the Bears, and the Bears will get the second half kickoff. 14-3. This is a surprise considering what these teams have done, especially the Cardinals in the first 2 games of the year. The defense is playing terrific, and take us through the 2 touchdowns the Cardinals have scored.
Well, they scored on 2 corner routes. So if the first corner route's good, let's throw another one to the running back. Here is Ricky Seals-Jones. Now watch the vision from Bradford. You got somebody bearing right down on you. Go ahead, sling it sidearm to the corner. Ricky Seals-Jones walks into the end zone. Same route, other side, but you've got the running back. Throw it to the corner, adjusts. Look at that beautiful picture as he adjusts to that football, scores as he's about 5 yards behind the defender. And that's what's going on here with Arizona and their offense.
Bradford 7 of 10 for 95 yards. And Mitchell Trubisky will take over. This one is returnable for the Bears, but bobbling it is Benny Cunningham, and we'll take it out on the 25 as we send it down to Jen Hale.
Dick, as stellar as this Arizona defense has been, Coach Steve Wilks wants more. He told me at halftime, yes, they've improved, but they still have the potential to do more. He thinks they're on the field too long and should go ahead and get those takeaways faster. Now the Bears trying to get Mitch Trubisky comfortable, trying to buy him some time in that pocket. You heard Mark mention at the beginning of the game, they scripted the first 15 plays for the first half. Well, they scripted the first 8 to 10 for this half to hopefully give him that comfort. We'll see if the Cardinals D lets them execute it.
All right, Jen, and you had a very important point about the defense being on the field too long, nearly twice as much. And here's Howard, and seemingly stopped at the line of scrimmage, picks up about 4 yards before Josh Bynes is there. Offensive leaders, well, not too much for the Bears, although Trubisky has good percentage, 130 yards, but did throw a pick, and the rest of them.
Well, when you run the ball, and you saw that right there, a play that probably should have been made in the backfield ends up getting, what, 4 yards. It keeps you on schedule, opens up that play action. They need to take advantage of this.
Now it's Tariq Cohen. And the quick pass on the outside to Gabriel, and great defensive play coming over is Josh Bynes and Budda Baker. This is an aggressive Cardinal defense. And, you know, frankly, they were on the field too long in their blowout loss to the Rams last week. And right now, the time of possession, 9 more minutes.
Always nice. Yeah, always nice when you can throw a bubble screen out to the edge and your middle linebacker at, what, 240 pounds can chase it down, leap over somebody, make a tackle for no gain, put you in third down and long situations. Remember, the first half, a lot of blitz out of these third down and longs.
3rd down and 6. Trubisky in trouble. Not going to get away from Chandler Jones. He led the NFL with 17 sacks last year, and that's his first, I believe, this season. 3rd sack of the game for the Cardinal defense, and it's 4th down.
And what did we say? I mean, they're going to come with blitz pressure off the edge, bring your defensive backs, give them something to look at. They drop a zone dropper in there, but always hard to pick that up when you get a guy coming from an area that you're not expecting him to come from.
Pat O'Donnell will kick it away, and Christian Kirk standing at his 31. Great punt. Backpedaling. And unable to get away. That was a great open field special teams play by Sherrick McManus. So Sam Bradford hasn't thrown many passes, but he's made them count, leading the Cardinals offense when we return. Cardinals offensive leaders, not great numbers, but the 14 is pretty good right now on the scoreboard.
I like this right here, 7 for 10 for Sam Bradford. I think that's one of the things you really want to go after. Protect him. Don't give him a ton of opportunities. And then it's all about this guy, David Johnson. How many times can we let him touch the ball both in the running game and the passing game as he's going to run behind a fullback here?
Well, after that 61-yard punt by Pat O'Donnell and no return, Cardinals starting from their 15. Play action. And open and making the catch is Derek Coleman, the fullback, and the former Falcon. So that's the first time he's been involved in a play, and he gets a first down, picking up 12.
Run pass integrity important. You've got to show that you're able to run. Make them defend the run. You bring the fullback in, you have your tailback dotted behind your quarterback. You have got to respect that. Then you sneak the fullback out in the flat, dump him the football. What I mean by run pass integrity is you've got to give the defense something to always look at, to have the threat of run there.
And there is the run, Johnson. And he may not get much, but they're showing the run, and they have to be aware of that. Nothing much there with Akeem Hicks after the 2-yard gain.
It's a mindset thing. You have to look at yourself, even if it's a 1 or 2 yard run. Was it a physical 1 or 2 yards? Did we put our helmets on those guys? Did we push them around a little bit? Because that will slow down in second down and long situations. That'll slow down the pass rush. So there is a balance there. There is a process there that you want to go through as they split empty backfield here with the backs outside.
2nd down and 8. And the quick one is to David Johnson. Bears are all over him. They know what kind of a threat he's been. And Amukamara coming in from the secondary to make the tackle. Loss of 1 yard on the play. What's interesting, Larry Fitzgerald has only 1 catch today for 6 yards and has been targeted only once in the game.
That is amazing. We've been in this broadcast. We're in the 3rd quarter right now, and that's really the first time we've really talked about Larry Fitzgerald, one of the true professionals in this league.
Extended the streak, though, to 214 consecutive games with a catch early. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Bradford going up top, and it's going to be intercepted by Eddie Jackson. Safety Eddie Jackson with a pick on the throw off the mark intended for J.J. Nelson. And the first turnover of the game committed by the Cardinals gives it over to the Bears. So Jackson with the pick. And we welcome back to State Farm Stadium, where the Bears will take over after the interception by Jackson on their 33. Third interception of the year. Amukamara and Mack have the first 2 for the Bears. Leading by 11 of the Cardinals. And on first down, Howard for a yard. Well, they renamed the stadium recently State Farm Stadium here as the flag is down. So it'll be a take 2 for me.
Illegal shift. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first
Second
down.
one call. So as we say in the business, take 2. Well, the new name is State Farm Stadium, and that rings true to the Schlereth family, and I know it hits home to you.
Yeah, absolutely does. And you've been doing this for 52 years broadcasting. Well, my father, Herb, has been a State Farm agent now starting his 53rd year in October. Still goes to work every day. There he is, Herb Schlereth, down there in the corner, 79 years old. And that guy is, he taught me everything I know about work ethic, everything I know about grinding. Absolutely. I love you, Dad. You are the best.
I could use his hair.
Well, he's got plenty. Inventory, not an issue in the Schlereth household.
No.
We got plenty of inventory when it comes to hair, Dick.
Second down and 10. Congratulations to Herb, the whole family. That's pretty good, man. That's a great record. On second down and 10, Trubisky surveys the field, goes deep, and completes the pass to his favorite receiver, Allen Robinson. Robinson, who's the leading receiver on this team, and that's the biggest gain through the air today for Chicago.
Well, Allen Robinson out there, they're in a zone coverage. You see Bethea give him a hit, double move right there. That double move, the bite, and I tell you what, unbelievable. Taylor bites on the double move, Robinson up the sideline, and the deep ball accuracy, what we've talked about with Trubisky, the deep ball accuracy there on that particular throw.
39 yards, that's the longest pass play of this young season for the Bears. And first down on the Cardinal 28. And here's Howard giving ground and losing yardage. It's a pretty good loss there, led by Gerald Hodges, the former Saint linebacker, for a game break. Let's check in with Carissa.
Thanks, Nick. Rams already up 28-20 on the Chargers when Jared Goff throws his 3rd touchdown pass of the day, finding Robert Woods for the 2nd time. The Rams lead this one 35-20. And Dick, don't be jealous. I have to buy my hair too. We're all jealous of Mark's hair.
Get in line, Carissa. It's a long line.
Oh,
you're right. Second down and 15 after the loss of 5 yards. In motion is Anthony Miller to the top. Trubisky looking that way, and the pass thrown underneath to Miller. And Miller is tackled by Budda Baker after a gain of 10 yards. So it'll be 3rd down and about 5 now for the Bears, already in field goal range.
Steve Wilks said this was the part of the football field that this absolutely devastated him the most. 3rd downs, conversions in the red zone, or as you're approaching the red zone, about 3 yards outside of the red zone. But they've got to stop them here. Limit teams to field goal attempts. Don't let them keep driving.
You got 5 receivers there, top 3 wide receivers to the top of your picture. 3rd down and 5. Can the Cardinals halt them again? And the quick pass, and it's going to be complete, but did they not get the first down as Antoine Bethea immediately tackled Trey Burton? And they may be a little short of it, depending on the spot of the play. That yellow line, by the way, is unofficial, and it is 4th down. 4th and less than a yard for the Bears.
Well, here's that first decision. Here's the look at all these walk-up guys. They're going to peel out of here, play some zone behind that, and Bethea down in the bottom of your screen. He is going to back up. Look at him drive on the football, tackle Burton, keeps him out of that. There he goes. Beautifully executed. Nice tackle to keep them out. Chicago Bears making a decision.
Well, a timeout is called. And apparently it's the Bears who called the timeout. And I'm not sure whether Nagy claimed that he did call a timeout, and maybe he did. Parkey,
First charge timeout, Chicago.
it is a timeout. Parkey is about 5 yards on the field. So the question is, do the Bears, down 14-3, 7:26 to go in the third, take a chance and go for it on 4th down?
Well, you feel good about your running game. You feel good about the power of Howard if you go in that direction right here. And like for Nagy, I think you look at this, the situation, as good as they have been playing on the defensive side of the ball. This is one where I'd like to come in here inside the red zone, impose my will, be physical, run the football, and say, hey guys, big guys up front, it's on you. If you can't get this done, then we don't deserve to win this game.
Keep in mind that they're going to go for it, that a field goal makes it a one-score game. But they're going to pass up on that and go for it on 4th and less than a yard. And the pitch and making it is Allen Robinson, the wide receiver on the pitch from Trubisky. May have that first down just by maybe the length of a football, but he's got it according to what we saw.
How about that? How about saying, hey, we've got our backs, our big guys. What we're going to do is we're going to rely on the toughness of our, right here, our wide receiver. Look at him in there. Like, get in there in the middle, grind it out, dive over that first down line. As you mentioned, that is not official. But how often do you see a wide receiver getting the opportunity to be a guy that's going to carry it between the tackles?
It's a big measurement. By almost the length of a football. It's a first down. And Steve Wilks' defensive unit made it very close. It hasn't been easy for the Bears offense against this aroused Arizona Cardinal defense. And you look at Patrick Peterson, you can talk about Taylor, Budda Baker, Antoine Bethea. They all have played outstanding football in this game.
They have been so meshed together, and the big thing last week, they defended the run better, but they had big plays, big breakdowns in that secondary. So far today, that secondary has been on spot. They have been basically up to the challenge and up to the task of defending these Chicago Bears receivers.
So the ball on the 18 and a first down. Play fake to Howard, and the pass is knocked away and nearly intercepted. Flying out of nowhere seemingly was Trey Boston, who has an interception already in this game and nearly had a second.
And these are the things that Mitchell Trubisky has got to get away from. You're rolling out, throwing across your body, telegraphing. You're trying to hit the over route, and the receiver is right there. He's your favorite guy. Look at Boston. He read that from the word go, diving around like, I mean, that guy is just laid out as you throw it across your body. Wonderful effort by Boston.
And this is where young quarterbacks, whether you're a second-year man or a rookie, it's not making the mistakes. That's the key. And it's not that easy. Handoff to Cohen, Tariq Cohen inside the 10, the 5, and he gets bound to about the 1 yard line. Trey Boston prevented Cohen from getting in for the touchdown, but the Bears in business with a 1st and goal at the 1. 17 yards.
Cohen right here, he's going to get this inside handoff as they try to move everybody on the outside. They go away, little dash play. Now he's going back the opposite way on the inside handoff. Boston for the tackle. 1st and goal from the 1.
Cohen with 5 carries, 52 yards. That's an average of over 10 yards a clip. 1st and goal. And here is Jordan Howard. And he's in for the touchdown. Banking on the running game is Matt Nagy and the Bears. And they creep closer to the Cardinals here in the 3rd.
And that's where power wins. BYOB, bring your own blocker. You got to meet people in the hole right there over Hodges. Keep driving your legs over Boston. Fall over the top of that goal line for about 4 more yards and a touchdown.
And Cody Parkey looking to cut the Cardinal lead to 4. Not a good snap, but the kick is good. And the Bears with a touchdown here. Jordan Howard with the 1-yard tough run. And with 6:16 to go in the third, it's now a 14-10 game in favor of the Cardinals. So each team has scored a touchdown off of a turnover here. And for Jordan Howard, his first touchdown of the season. And Eddie Jackson, who had the pick, out there on special teams. Brandon Williams deep for the Cardinals. And not returning it. Saturday is a college football doubleheader on Fox, starting in the Big Ten with 14th ranked Michigan taking on Northwestern. Then number 11 Washington hosts 20th ranked BYU. It all kicks off Saturday at 4 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. BYU already with a signature road win last week at Wisconsin. And Michigan led 39-0 at the half yesterday against Nebraska, winning 56-10. Well, the Cardinals were blazing when they started the game, but have cooled off since. Only 5 first downs compared to 15 for the Bears. Now 2-1 in plays. And that'll get you healthy a little bit with David Johnson up the middle for 9 yards. That's the 26th play run by the Cardinals compared to 49 for the Bears offense.
Little counter play back inside. David Johnson not spreading the ball out, but putting his foot in the ground, getting back behind his pullers. That's where those counters hit. 9 yards, 2nd down and 1. Keep yourself on schedule. This is an important drive. Remember, both touchdowns for the Arizona Cardinals happened in the first quarter. They haven't done anything offensively since.
2nd down and 1. Here's Johnson, and he fights for the yardage. Johnson has averaged 3 yards a carry, 8 attempts for 24 yards, and he has caught 3 passes for 18 yards.
They wanted to get him somewhere around 30 touches, so 20+ carries, 10 receptions, or at least 10 targets in the passing game. And right now I like the pace of this drive. Run the ball, keep moving the chains, be physical. This is what the Cardinals need to sustain a drive.
You got to pay off with points. That good catch made by Fitzgerald, only his 2nd reception of the game, out to the 39. And that time good pressure by Aaron Lynch, the linebacker. Lynch, who played for Vic Fangio when he was in San Fran.
Watch coming across the ball here to get that blitz pickup. That's what you have to do. Nice by David Johnson. Lowers his shoulder, puts it in there. Sam Bradford throwing the ball, delivering it to Larry Fitzgerald. How about Larry Fitzgerald in his hands? I mean, that guy doesn't drop a pass. Made a catch just like that last week. You put it anywhere in that catch radius, he's going to come down with it.
2nd down and 7 from the 39, and pointing going on. And a false start against the Cardinals.
Offense number 73. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
And that's on John Wetzel, normally a left tackle, playing right tackle today with the injury to Andre Smith. His elbow has kept him out of this game for the 2nd straight week.
That time, Khalil Mack's not even lined up on his side. Like, I understand when Khalil Mack's out there, right? You're going to try to get a jump on the snap count. Maybe it's just having that, knowing that Khalil Mack's on the field. He's actually lined up over left tackle. Now they've been flipping him around, and Aaron Lynch over Wetzel.
2nd down and 12. Only 8 penalties in the game, 4 on each side, and the short pass is deflected back and incomplete. Ricky Seals-Jones and Kyle Fuller was right there, so now it'll be 3rd down and 12. Jen Hale with a story on the Bear D.
Dick, Prince Amukamara is from here, Glendale Apollo High School. So a lot of folks looking forward to watching him today. He has 20 family members here, but unfortunately shaken up a little bit earlier in the 3rd quarter, pulled his hamstring, and is now doubtful to return for the rest of the game.
Thank you very much, Jen, and that's why Bryce Callahan has been in there doing the job at cornerback. Here's Khalil Mack. See how they handle this on 3rd and 12. Three-man rush coming up. Bradford getting away from Mack, and the pass is going to be wrestled, and was it picked off? It may be by the Bears. Sherrick McManus, and the Bears get it back. Sherrick McManus with the second interception of the game by the Chicago Bears. The first by Eddie Jackson. Right in front of Chad Williams to make the interception in Arizona territory. So an interception thrown by Sam Bradford and upheld as they review all turnovers, and the Bears will start from the 44 of the Cardinals with a chance to take the lead with a touchdown. Trubisky biding time, being chased down, and then going out of bounds. Benson Mayowa, former Cowboy who played well in the losing cause against the Rams. Well, Dean Blandino is in our studios. It's been upheld. That interception was upheld. Any thoughts about that, Dean?
Yeah, that's the right call. You just couldn't tell if the ball hit the ground while it was loose. And we've been watching all of the games today, and the decision-making has been very consistent. When it isn't clear and obvious, they're staying with the call in the field, which is the basic premise of replay and what they should be doing.
That was the idea, Dean. Thank you. That's perfect. 2nd down and 9. Trubisky through the hands of Robinson, with Peterson defending him, bringing up 3rd down and 9.
3rd down and 9, a situation where we've seen Arizona dial up pressures, dial up blitzes, try to create a turnover or try to create a sack. Chandler Jones, we've seen him block a pass. I mean, this is where they have thrived in 3rd down and long situations, and it's consistent. They've brought pressure just about every time.
They line up a million receivers, including Tariq Cohen. 3rd down and 9 from the 43. Pressure comes on, and the quick pass incomplete, intended for Anthony Miller. A flag down on the far side of the field. It'll go against the Cardinals. Offside against Arizona.
Offside. Defense number 43. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
And that was Hassan Reddick. So instead of a punting situation, all you have to do is look at Steve Wilks and his reaction there. The Bears get another chance.
Just unforced errors. I mean, those are things that you cannot allow to happen to you. You've got a team off the field, 3rd down and 9 situation. You brought pressure, you executed, and now you give them another opportunity. It's like baseball. When you give somebody an extra out, eventually what happens to you is you lose baseball games. Same thing. Right. You're giving them extra opportunities here.
Well, now they only need 4 yards. The Bears. Flip up the middle, and it'll be a 1st down. Jordan Howard gets more yards and gets to the 25-yard line. A 13-yard pickup, so that penalty really cost the Cardinals, and the Bears, capitalizing it, now have a 1st down at the 25.
And now you have to sit there and rally as they get that pressure right here and get it to their running back. Just flips around here outside, back up inside the middle. But now you have to sit there and look at your defense and say, hey, guys, this is where we have to get a stop. This is where we have to force this team to kick a field goal so we can maintain the lead.
Defense has been on the field a long time, and they run it again to Howard, and he gets about 2 or 3 yards on 1st down. Gerald Hodges there to make the stop, and just like last week when the Rams scored 34, because this defense, and it's a good defense, on the field too long, it's starting to look like that now again.
There's only about, in all honesty, for a defense, because you have to play with such passion and emotion, you have to change direction, you have to chase. You really only have about 60, 65 plays to play at a really high level. Once you start approaching that, you just get exhausted as a defensive player.
2nd down and 7. The ball is at the 22. Trubisky. And Trubisky's pass to the end zone, and well covered was Anthony Miller as the ball nowhere near him. And that will bring up 3rd down and 7. And Miller, who was hurt earlier and came back in the game, looks like he's hurting once more.
Remember, Anthony Miller on a tackle fell awkwardly on his shoulder, and here he is. He's fought his way back into this game, and not quite sure what happened there as he was trying to push off with that arm.
And he'll be helped off a little bit now. Joshua Bellamy, who came in for him the last time, will come in for Miller, the 2nd round draft choice out of Memphis. Well, Thursday nights are about to get a lot bigger as Fox becomes the new network home for Thursday night football. Kirk Cousins, Stephon Diggs, and the Vikings take on Todd Gurley, Aaron Donald, and the Rams from the LA Coliseum Thursday at 7:30 Eastern on Fox. Also live on NFL Network and streaming on Prime Video. Now it's a game. And now it's a game here too. And now the Cardinals pointing towards the Bears being penalized here. Kimdichie and Massey pointing. Well, what does Vinovich say?
The defender did not get into the neutral zone. False start. Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Well, that makes it 3rd down and 12 now. They were dialed up to bring pressure off the edge in that 3rd and 7 situation. Let's see if they play the change now. Do you drop back in coverage? Make sure you keep all the passes in front of you and see if you can rally up and make a tackle here and force that field goal try.
They've done it before. Be a 45-yard field goal from right about this spot. 3rd down and 12. Cardinals secondary player coming up to the line now, backs up on 3rd down and 12, and the pass is going to be bobbled by Tariq Cohen, holds on and will be wrestled out of bounds, well short of the 1st down by Trey Boston. So not only have the starting 4 secondary people played well, but the backups in Ben Wickery and Boston have also played well. 4-yard gain. Parkey will come on to try to get the 3.
Yeah, they faked the blitz that time. They had everybody up on that line of scrimmage, bailed out of that, ran a tackle end game with Chandler Jones coming back up in the inside to create the pressure, made the quarterback Trubisky get rid of the ball quickly.
Parkey missed from 46, made it from 20, this from 41. And Cody Parkey with the field goal. It's good. And the Bears edging closer. They were down 14-0 at one point. Now trailed by only 1 point with 44 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. 14-13. And we'll be right back after this message from Verizon. All right, Mark, so it was 14-0. The Bears are coming on, haven't taken the lead now. Do you have any ideas what the Cardinals and Sam Bradford might be thinking of offensively as they get the ball back and have stalled since the early going?
Obviously, one of the things you've got to do is you've got to create an opportunity, run the ball, set up your play action. Don't put your quarterback in harm's way because he's made mistakes when he's been there so far, throwing 2 interceptions.
We have had quite a 3rd quarter with turnovers, 2 interceptions. The first one by Eddie Jackson. And that led to Howard's great 2nd effort touchdown. And then the pick there. And the field goal. So the Bears with 10 points off of 2 Cardinal turnovers. And Mitch Trubisky, who's 21 of 30 for 201 yards and an interception. But now Bradford, who has thrown 2 picks, but also 2 touchdown passes, starts from the 25. David Johnson. But this is what you want to do to start.
It certainly is. You want to be able to continue to grind that clock a little bit, keep your defense on the sideline, let them get their, their wind back, suck on some water. You've got to keep that out there. And I tell you what, you talked about letting David Johnson carry the ball. You talked about getting it in his hands as often as possible. That's where you need to go.
They're going to let the clock run down, and that will do it for the third quarter, with the Cardinals barely clinging to a 1-point lead, 14-13. These teams have been playing for almost a century. The Chicago Cardinals and the Chicago Bears. One played at Comiskey Park most of the time. They began in the 1930s. The Bidwell family still owns the Cardinals. Remember Papa Bear? Everyone who Bear fans remember him. And welcome back to the desert. Dick Stockton, Mark Schlereth, and Jen Hale. The Bears outscoring the Cardinals 10-0 in the third quarter, trailed by 1. It'll be 2nd and 7 for Sam Bradford and the Cardinals as we start the fourth quarter. Bradford looking at Johnson. Johnson looking for running room, and he gets the first down up to the 40-yard line. Big play with Adrian Amos making the stop after a pickup of 13.
That's exactly what they need to do. We talked about it. You've got to get the ball to your running back, but I love the unselfishness of this offense. Not only swinging it out to Johnson, making people miss, but Larry Fitzgerald on the opposite side, rolling down and getting Khalil Mack on a double team, helping out his tackle, the consummate professional out there, number 11.
Roquan Smith, the rookie, missed the tackle. He missed a few last week as well. Johnson on first down, and he edges forward for a yard. Time for a game break. Here's Curt Menefee.
Well, looks like the Seahawks are going to get one in the win column. This is Chris Carson, 5-yard run. They have been in control in the game against the Cowboys all day long, and Dallas just turned it over. Seattle up 24-6 at home in the fourth quarter. Dick, Mark, and Jen.
All right, thank you, Curt. Cardinals trying to turn it around their last 5 possessions. 3 punts, 2 interceptions the last 2 times. They have a 2nd down and 9 from their 41. Bradford, and it's caught by Christian Kirk, who's downed immediately by Kevin Tolliver. Tolliver has been in there most of the way at cornerback. The undrafted rookie from LSU, and Bryce Callahan has been their nickel, and he's played very well, with Amukamara shaken up and out of the game, as Jen Hale reported earlier. 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5 is pretty much an obvious passing situation. You want to dial it up. How are you going to get your running back involved? How are you going to take care of the edge with Khalil Mack, as we see so many questions to answer here for the Arizona Cardinals?
3rd and 5. Good protection for Bradford, and catching it is Christian Kirk for a big catch out of bounds. First down just outside the 10. Eddie Jackson was covering, pushed him out of bounds, but Kirk, the rookie from Texas A&M, with a big 32-yard play.
And just when you mentioned Tolliver, Kirk, they run the double move on the rookie. He comes out here, hits the out, boom, goes to the up. He's beyond him, and the safety has to come over the top to make the tackle. Big time play, but more importantly, Bradford, big time throw when you have had a couple of drives end in interceptions. You haven't played well here in the second, third quarter. Now you're picking it up in the fourth.
Big play by Bradford and the Scottsdale native, Christian Kirk. And the pitch going to Johnson. He's got some blockers, but the Bears come in. Mack trailing the way, and Trevathan and Eddie Jackson were both there.
And here's the thing, I mean, you look at the first quarter, 4 of 5, 92 yards, 2 TDs since that time. He has really struggled. The 2 picks. But here's what I love about him. He canvassed the globe to try to fix his knee. This is a guy that's made more money than he knows what to do with. And he has so much passion for this game. He had all kinds of treatments. He went around the world to fix his knee, and he's out here battling for his football team. I love the passion.
So grateful that he could play again after those knee problems, and they were big. 2nd down and 8, stumbles forward and loses the ball. Bears have it. Khalil Mack forces the fumble, and Bradford turns it over, the Cardinals. And now Steve Wilks is claiming that Bradford was down when he lost the ball. We're going to check that out. Danny Trevathan made the recovery after Mack knocked it away from Bradford.
Well, here he comes stumbling around here. No, that ball is out. Khalil Mack puts his shoulder pad directly. Look at that. Arm, shoulder pad on the football. Ball is out. That's Chicago's football.
3 turnovers by the Cardinals here in the second half. Well, since he's been in the NFL, tied for 4th since 2014 with 12 forced fumbles after he was outstanding in that respect in college.
And here's the thing, you got the double team, knocked the running back out, but the thing I love is the awareness, just the overall football awareness. You understand what's going on. You see the play is broken down. Stick your foot in the ground. Go try to make a play. Don't think about if you can make it. Just go make it.
First down for the Bears from the 16. Trailing by 1 point early here in the 4th quarter and going deep. And the pass is knocked down, nearly intercepted. Allen Robinson had Benet Ben-Wickery on him, and he had positioned Ben-Wickery to make the pick.
Did a good job of in trail on that particular throw, kept his eyes around, got in that throwing lane. So as he gets down there, he's beat right now. But look at him catch up, slow his body down, and adjust to that football. Now, that again is a deep throw that was poorly thrown. It was an underthrow. He threw a pick like that just last week in a game against Seattle. You've got to put air under that ball, give your receiver a chance who's beat the DB a chance to go catch it, run underneath it and catch it.
2nd and 10. Got time, and he drills it, caught by Trey Burton, and it's a first down at the 27-yard line, 12-yard gain. And it looks like the Bears offense playing a little faster than we've seen them throughout this game, Mark.
Going a little up tempo. I mean, and what you want now is obviously you have time. You have time to put a drive together. You don't have to rush up to the ball, but the tempo of what they're doing as an offense right now, getting the ball out of Trubisky's hand quickly, that's the difference right now. You know you have a tired defense.
On the 28, and here is Jordan Howard. Gets good yardage up to the 35. Injury update. Let's check in with Jen Hale.
Well, Dick, it looks like rookie wide receiver Anthony Miller's day could be over. Right now, he's standing on the sideline without his helmet, a towel over his head. That shoulder that just took a beating today is really acting up. The Chicago Bears have him listed as doubtful for the rest of this game.
All right, Jen, thank you. Miller with 4 catches and 35 yards, including a 15-yard grab. Meanwhile, it'll be 2nd and 2.
Blue 80, blue.
Howard, first down, and good yardage. Looks fresh as a daisy, does Jordan Howard. Hodges brings him down, but not before a pickup of 7.
Boy, cushion. Look at this. Just take off. Get that up to the next level right here. That's how you take off. Push that pile. There's 4 or 5 yards before Howard even has to think about a defender tackling him. That is a great takeoff by the Chicago Bears, and the result of a defense who spent literally just way too much time on the football field right now. You can see how tired these guys are. They can't get off blocks.
17 carries for Howard for 52 yards, the same amount as Tariq Cohen, but he's going to drop a couple here with good pursuit by Rodney Gunter and company, and the Bears lose 2 on that play.
Chicago Bears huddling up, taking their time, changing personnel right now, and you're in a 2nd and long situation. We've seen the Arizona Cardinals throughout the entirety of the day bring pressure here, blitz pressure. Can you throw a screen into blitz pressure if they actually big? How do you dial that up?
2nd and 12, pressure coming in on Trubisky, handled by the Bears. Trubisky gets hit as he lets go of the ball, and it's incomplete. And now they're going to call the flag. Late flag is thrown, and now another one is thrown on the near side at midfield, and there's an injured player on the field. Looks like a Chicago Bear shaken up.
Well, I think for the Bears, that's Gabriel.
Here's Bill Vinovich.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense number 33. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Trey Boston pleading his case to no avail.
Well, the deep over route right here by Gabriel. Those are so hard. I mean, this is a late hit. It's not necessarily a helmet-to-helmet defenseless receiver. You know, I understand, although you're defending yourself there, trying to protect yourself with your arms, but it's just unnecessary. You've got to understand where the football is. Clearly an overthrow. Not that it's the most violent hit, but they're trying to clean those things up, trying to clean the game up. I know if you're an Arizona Cardinal fan, you're beside yourself with that call, but I think it's the right call.
Yeah. Dean Blandino in L.A. How do you interpret this one, Dean?
Yeah, I was trying to read the official's lips as he was explaining the call, and I think he said it was late. You know, the ball was overthrown, it was gone, and you need to let up in that instance. He did do a good job getting the shoulder to the body, so he didn't go head neck. It was just a little bit late.
Thanks, Dean.
15-yard penalty, and here it is again. He did have his head down, but he hit him with his shoulder, but it was the late hit. And so it'll be a first down in Cardinal territory at the 44. So it was a 3rd down and 12, and the Bears keep the ball. Swing pass out to Joshua Bellamy, who dives forward for a couple of yards.
And it'll be interesting to see how this penalty plays out, because if you remember, on Chicago's only touchdown scoring drive, there was a penalty in that. They gave them another opportunity to move the ball and end up scoring. So here you have another penalty extending the drive, because they were off on 3rd down in that scoring drive. They're going to get off on 3rd down in that particular drive, and it extends the play and puts this defense back out there.
Well, when you look at the turnovers and the 3 in a row and the penalties, you look at the Cardinals are giving the Bears every chance to come and take the lead in this game. They haven't yet. It is 2nd and 8 at the 42-yard line. Trubisky trying to get away, stays on his feet, and decides to run with it and goes out of bounds. I think he's shy of the first down. We'll see where they spot it. Hodges missed the initial tackle on Trubisky, and out of bounds at the 30.
Unblocked. Hodges can't bring Trubisky down, and that's one of the things you've got to take advantage of, the athleticism of that quarterback. If you're a defender, you got to keep your feet, you got to run through the quarterback, wrap him up. Boy, so tough, though, when you have an athletic quarterback like that that's able to make guys, you know, get off balance, able to make guys miss and still scramble around.
Big 3rd down here. 3rd down and 1. Jordan Howard. And it'll be a first down. Jordan Howard reaches and gets the first down for the Bears as we wind down to 7 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Kurt Menefee is just anxious to give us this game break. Kurt, tell us.
Well, another week, another Rams double-digit win. Jared Goff, one of his 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Robert Woods. That 6-yarder was all they needed. 35-23 is the final as they win the fight for L.A. over the Chargers. Dick, Mark, and Jen.
Thank you, Kurt. First down. Howard nearly broke a tackle and got a lot of yards. Didn't do badly with that one. Chandler Jones brings him down after a pickup of 5, maybe more. 2nd down coming up. Bears already in field goal range, and a 3-pointer would give them the lead. 64 plays have been run off by the Bears, only 37 for Steve Wilks' Cardinals. And once again, that defense, they've got to be wearing out if they're not really almost down and out. And they keep it on the ground to Howard, but throwing him for the loss and getting inside was Budda Baker. What a game he's played today.
Budda Baker coming off the edge and another run blitz now. I mean, this is what you have to do when you're talking about watches coming off the edge right here. Budda Baker in the backfield. These are the gambles that you have to make as a defensive coordinator. We are getting pushed around at the point of attack. We've got to make something special happen. So let's bring some safeties. Let's bring some guys off the edge. Let's run and let's blitz the run plays as well as some of these deep pass plays or these long yardage pass plays.
3rd down and 7. Empty backfield, and the pass goes to Tariq Cohen, and Cohen is going to be stopped shy of the 1st down. And it was Hassan Reddick who committed a penalty earlier to hurt the Cardinals, and giving the Bears a break, makes a 1st down saving tackle here to bring up 4th and 1. It's 4th down. Well, a field goal would give them the lead, but Matt Nagy is going to go for it.
I mean, I'm in shock right now.
Now, do you try to get him to jump?
Try to get him to jump.
And
They've made enough.
Calls a timeout.
There you go.
Bears call a timeout.
Second charge timeout.
And Cody Parkey will come on the field.
30-second timeout.
So now the Bears have only 1 timeout remaining, and Parkey will come on to try to give Chicago their first lead of the game.
Fairly curious right there. If you didn't make the attempt to get them to jump off sides, and now you've wasted a timeout in a game that's a 13-14 1-point game. I mean, that could be a very valuable timeout with only, what, 4:13 or 4:34, excuse me, left in the 4th quarter.
So
I mean, I understand if you're going to try to get him to jump off sides.
They didn't even line up.
Yeah, line up and you know, at least fake the snap count.
Parkey is 2 for 3. Josh Rosen, by the way, the backup quarterback, and the rookie, has his helmet on the sideline. And here comes the field goal from 43 yards. And the field goal is good. And the Bears, who trailed 14-0 in the 1st quarter, have taken their first lead of the game. It's 16-14, and Josh Rosen is going to make his NFL debut in a pressurized situation against a great defense when we come back. We have high drama in the desert because Josh Rosen is going to come in at quarterback, and Sam Bradford, still wearing his helmet, has been relieved. And Rosen will make his NFL debut. And shades of Baker Mayfield on Thursday. Of course, we don't know the result of this game. Mayfield coming in because of injury for the Browns and leading them to a victory over the Jets. And now, starting from the 25, Rosen will go to work. And Josh Rosen, who the Cardinals traded up from 15th to 10th in the playoffs. Here's the crowd as Rosen takes the field. What a time to come into a game.
Baptism by fire. 4 minutes, 31 seconds left. We're down by 2. Good luck, son. Go get us a victory.
4:31 to go. Cardinals, all they need to do is get in field goal range. He handled all the reps on Wednesday. Hands off to David Johnson on 1st down, and Johnson gets a yard.
Here's one thing that he brings you that Sam Bradford never could bring you. As things break down, you have the ability to go off schedule, meaning if the protection breaks down, you can scramble outside, you can extend the play, and you can make something happen. Something that, you know, Bradford, with the injury history, he just doesn't have the ability to do that. So this gives you that improvisation skill that Bradford doesn't have.
2nd down and 9 from the 26. Rosen's pass, and it's caught close to the 1st down by Jermaine Gresham, just returning to action. And it's a 1st down. So Josh Rosen's first pass is a 1st down. Sam Bradford still with the helmet on.
In the middle, steps into the throw. Perfect, right between 2 defenders in that zone to Gresham for the 1st down. Calm, cool in that pocket. No stress for Rosen to this point.
And he was impressive in preseason. Very intelligent quarterback. Looks like all the young ones taken this year seem to have it. 1st down and 10. Good protection And he gets it off, and it's caught by Johnson after a gain of about 4. Roquan Smith making the stop, and a flag is down behind the line of scrimmage.
Illegal use of hands. Hands in the face. Defense number 90. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's on Jonathan Bullard.
Well, there's Bullard coming up right here inside on the guard. Upati gets his hands. See, that to me is not hands in the face. Oh, there it is late. There it is. His hands come off the jersey up into the chin of Upati after the ball is gone. That's a good call. Early it wasn't, but he finished with his hands in the chin of Upati, the left guard.
So a first down at the 40. 3:03 to go in the fourth quarter. Bears by 2. Rosen with his pass and overthrowing Chad Williams, bringing up 2nd and 10. Only the second time that Chad Williams has been targeted today. Josh Rosen, the only other UCLA quarterback that has been selected in the top 10 in the draft was our Troy Aikman, who was first overall back in 1989.
Yeah, same draft class that I went 263rd overall in. So Troy and I really close in draft.
You have the same amount of Super Bowl rings, I might add.
Yes, well, Troy was a pretty good one at the UCLA quarterback position, that's for sure.
2nd down and 10. They needed protection, and the pass is going to be caught. May have a first down, Christian Kirk, with forward progress, and it is a first down for the Cardinals as the clock runs. 2:45 to go, and the Cardinals have all 3 of their timeouts remaining.
Now look at it, just know where the first down marker is, run a curl right at the first down, and look at Josh Rosen, the former UCLA quarterback, just absolutely
cool.
Ripping the football.
Cool. He's cool.
He is, I mean, there is no stress here. He's been ready for this, and the Wednesday practice, they've been giving him these reps. This makes all the difference for a young guy.
First down at midfield. Rosen in trouble, trying to get away under pressure. And the pass is incomplete. Got rid of the ball, not out of bounds, but on the field of play as Khalil Mack was trying to chase him down.
And that's what I'm talking about. Extend the play. Things break down up front. The protection breaks down. Get outside. See if anything opens up for you. But a smart decision. Don't take the sack. Don't put yourself or your team in harm's way. You're outside the pocket. Just get it to the line of scrimmage. Throw it out there and give yourself an opportunity here on 2nd down. Very smart decision by Josh Rosen.
And all he has to do is get the Cardinals in field goal range for a 3-pointer and then hope the defense can handle it, but they got to get there first. 2nd down and 10. Quick pass, and it's caught at the 38 by Williams. Kevin Tolliver making the tackle as we get down to the 2-minute warning. They get to the 42-yard line. An intense battle between the Bears looking for their 2nd in a row and the Cardinals trying to get their first win with their rookie quarterback trying to get it done. 2 minutes remaining in regulation. It'll be 3rd down and 2. This is obviously 2-down territory when you think, Mark, here for the Cardinals.
Absolutely. Yep. You've got to be able to get yourself a first down, get yourself into field goal range. So with me, I'm saying, hey, give it to my running back twice if I need to, but that's the direction we're going in.
They got Chase Edmonds, though, in the backfield. 3rd down and 2, and they give it to Edmonds, and Edmonds is going to be tackled behind the line. 3-yard loss thanks to Bilal Nichols, the rookie from Delaware. And a loss of 3, so it'll be 4th down and 5.
Nichols just penetration right here, blowing things up, getting in that backfield. That's what you need from the rookie. Look at the excitement of that defense. Rallying around the rookie, and the 2 rookies in critical situations. They're going for it right now.
4th down and 5. It would have been a 60-yard field goal from that original line of scrimmage, and then they lost yardage. So it's right here for the Cardinals. Can they survive? Here's Rosen's pass, and it's going to be intercepted by Bryce Callahan. and the Bears celebrate on the sideline. Third interception of the game, fourth turnover. So unlike the debut of Baker Mayfield in Cleveland when the Browns rallied to win, not a storybook finish for Josh Rosen with the interception, and the Bears take over with the 2-point lead. Well, the Cardinals attempt to get into field goal range to possibly win the game blunted with the interception thrown by Rosen. And your thoughts having seen this rookie take over for this game veteran Sam Bradford?
Well, I think, you know, you look at Rosen, and obviously, I mean, you end with that pick there, but brought some energy. Obviously, a bad throw there behind the intended target, behind the receiver. But it looks to me like they're going to go with Rosen in the future moving forward. We'll have to see how it plays out.
It kind of felt, Mark, that it was a matter of time. You know, if Bradford had come out of the gate much better than he had so far this year with the rest of that offense, and there's a timeout on the field, you know, that, you know, barring that, right, Rosen's time was going to come.
Right, and Rosen, you're going to see the out route right here, but it just is underthrown. It's behind the receiver. You got to get that out to the sideline. You're a little late with the throw. Short-armed it as he got hit with pressure, and that's what created the short arm throw right there behind the receiver. And Callahan making a real nice play on the balls. He had excellent coverage, but you know, that's the way it goes. Bradford understands, gives him the pat on the shoulder. That's a tough situation to be in between those two quarterbacks, because you really, I mean, you're teammates, you know, you like each other, but you're competing for the same job, and it just makes it a really tough situation, a really tough battle going on.
I think it was the toughest spot for a rookie quarterback ever to come in a game, you know, going into a situation where you have a drive and you've got to get the team in field goal range to win the game, and he got him from the 25 to the point which he threw the pick. Now it's the Bears and Jordan Howard using up the clock, and the Cardinals call the first timeout. They now have one left. Coming up next, it's the OT presented by Lowe's, where Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Tony will recap all of the action from an exciting Week 3. These Cardinals next week will play host to the Seattle Seahawks, who beat the Dallas Cowboys 24-13. And the Bears will host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have the Steelers tomorrow night.
There'll be a lot of second guessing. 4th down and 5, rookie quarterback. Should you have punted with 3 timeouts? Tried to pin him down deep, but I think Steve Wilks is looking at it like, my defense is exhausted. They have played so many snaps 2 weeks in a row in the heat in California when they played the Rams, and then today, you know, with this defense, what have they faced? Almost 70 plays, 68 plays right now. He said, let's just go out there and try to win this with our rookie quarterback. I don't second guess that call.
And here's Howard with the run, and the Cardinals call their final timeout. So their second half, 4 possessions and 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions and a fumble. Eddie Jackson with the first.
Yeah, threw it on the wrong side. Got to throw it out toward the sideline. McManus makes a great diving play. Fumble as Bradford scrambles. Khalil Mack creates that. And then Rosen getting crushed right there, throwing it behind the receiver, not getting it out to the sideline with the pressure. And that's the story of the game. But they're going to get an opportunity with this ball back.
Pat O'Donnell will be kicking, and Patrick Peterson goes back deep for the Cardinals. Who else would you want back there when you have when you need a miracle at this point? He had 4 punt return touchdowns as a rookie. Good hang time. Peterson at the 13. Not much room to roam, and he gets pushed out of bounds at the 20. O'Donnell's been brilliant as a punter so far this year. So Rosen with one last stab at it. A wild game here. The Bears trailed 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. And there's the story. 21 first downs to 10. 4 takeaways for 13 points. I look at the number of plays run. Bears 69, Cardinals 45.
Yeah, and that tells the story right there. Now you've got a rookie quarterback here, 43 seconds.
No timeouts.
No timeouts. I mean, you want to talk about putting a guy in a tough position. Well, the Cards have done it.
And his first pass, it'll be caught by Kirk, just shy of the first down, but that's not the important thing anymore. It's beating the clock as we wind down to 30 seconds. And Rosen can't get that play in time. Pass intercepted. Run in for a touchdown by Eddie Jackson. Flag is down. Want to welcome our audience to a wild game.
Offside. Defense number 52. 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
This has been a wild game. The Chicago Bears were trailing 14-0. And then Sam Bradford with interceptions and a fumble, and Josh Rosen, the rookie, in there. This keeps the Cardinals' slim hopes alive with an offside against the Bears.
Yeah, that's Khalil Mack trying to get a jump on there. He sees that rookie quarterback from UCLA getting in the game. He's like, I want to get a taste of that as well. So, you know, I've already gotten some Sam Bradford today. I want to get myself a little Josh Rosen as well, and gets a little too anxious right there.
Well, they gave the ball to Rosen at the 25-yard line to get into field goal range in the waning minutes, trailing by 2 points, and he threw a pick. They get the ball back now with only 14 seconds left, no timeouts remaining. And Rosen running out of the pocket, can't find anything, gets the first down before he goes out of bounds, and still 5 seconds on the clock. 12 yards he got on that. And Mitchell Trubisky leading the way back, and the Cardinals gave really the Bears every chance to win in this game, committing those 4 turnovers and then critical penalties.
Right, what a move on the sideline there to gain himself a couple of extra yards, get himself out of bounds. You got a chance to throw the Hail Mary here.
And don't forget, if there's pass interference, they get another play.
Third and final timeout.
Bears
Chicago
will call their last timeout
30-second timeout.
right here. So of all of the rookies who have made their debuts in the NFL, including Baker Mayfield, who came in with an injured Tyrod Taylor earlier in the game, Josh Rosen has to come in, win or else, or tie or else down the stretch.
So anytime you're trying to throw a Hail Mary down the football field, you've got to catch the ball behind the center and then take your time, and you've got to get outside the pocket. So they're going to have to protect an edge, get him outside the pocket, which gives those receivers enough time to get all the way down the field before you absolutely launch. This is going to be a heck of a throw if he can get it down there with a chance to catch the ball and score.
Well, the Bears are that much away from going 2-1 for the first time in 4 years. Find a way to win, and that's what you could say the Bears did today. If this doesn't work, Rosen under pressure, goes down, and the game is over. And the Cardinals dropped to 0-3, first time since 2005, and the Bears survive. And I'd have to say that would be the description for this game. They have a lot of fans in the desert area. Terrific game. The Bears beat the Cardinals 16-14.
Well, Matt Nagy said it. You know, we've learned to respond from a loss like we did in Game 1 against Green Bay. How do we respond to a win? They did it today.
And we'll be back to wrap things up from Arizona right after this.